Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press, and I'm George Boston Rhines, reporting on the newly elected black mayors in the state of Georgia. This includes Meigs, Georgia, Lumpkin, Georgia, Dawson, Georgia, Davisboro, Georgia, Warrenton, Georgia, and of course, the hot seat is Gordon, Georgia, wherein the Mayor Ann Whipple-Lue, was removed from office or suspended or restricted for 30 days by the Honorable Senior Superior Court Judge Robert S. Reeves. The Court of Appeals, we thought, had taken some action to try to resolve this problem. However, this afternoon, I was called and notified that that same Court of Appeals has now granted a second hearing to the Honorable Judge Robert S. Reeves, and the attempt will be to get another temporary restraining order, which will keep the mayor from doing what the people elected her to do. We know that it seems as if this city is divided, and if anyone watch the news media, Channel 13, WMAZ, I think it is, it seems as if though something is strangely wrong, even in the way coverage is being reported to the general public. The Ghetto Free Press just want you to know that you should not just focus on the mayor and the violations, alleged violations of the Sunshine Law or the Open Records Law, etc., etc. But you got to go back to Meigs, Georgia, and these other cities that the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, Governor Nathan Deal, and Georgia Attorney General Sam Owens are aware of. Yet, it seems as if though there is a pattern and practice to weaken, and I do mean weaken the vote here in the state of Georgia. Now, I understand from listening to the attorney, Wayne Kendall, that the mayor will seek to pick up her keys today and that she will return to assuming the duties for which the people elected her to do, as all mayors that have been elected to that office before. We must understand very clearly that the Georgia news media seems not to connect the dots in terms of what happened in Meigs with Linda Harris, the mayor, who has been arrested twice, have been given 2 criminal trespasses. One of her brothers, Edward, were arrested, given 1, 2, or 3 trespasses. Her other brother, Calvin, given 2 trespasses and arrested. And according to the former Caucasian retired police chief and former city manager, says for nothing when it comes to the mayor. Now we know what has happened in some of the other cities, but what the citizens are crying out across the state of Georgia, including leaders of G.B.R, Georgia black elected officials, people are asking the question, what's going on? We must think about the Quitman 10+2 after 3.5 years have not had their day in court. This is also a impediment, many believes, in Brooks County, Georgia, to circumvent the black vote and to circumvent the first time in Brooks County history, let me repeat, the first time in Brooks County's history that blacks held a majority on the Brooks County Board of Education. But even more important than that is that during a valid election, citizens in Brooks County made formal complaints to the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, at a public meeting in the state of Georgia in the United States of America. Brian P. Kemp sent his investigator down from Macon to Brooks County, and yet the citizens are still asking, where is our response from the Georgia Secretary of State? At this particular meeting, one of the Quitman 10 plus 2 Professor Nancy Dennard asked a question. These are one of the questions that the Secretary of State should have answered according to the people that I've talked to in Brooks County. Why was that meeting not advertised by any news media outlets for the Brooks County Board of Elections? Why there were no secretary recording the minutes? Why the meeting was never called to order? Why the agenda nor the minutes were voted on and approved as normally done, we believed, in the state of Georgia. Moreover, Commissioner James Maxwell asked some pertinent questions to the investigator that came down from Macon under the auspices and authority of the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp. Yet, nothing has been done, and don't seem like anything will be done. And so now, with the Court of Appeals issuing a second hearing, according to what we just heard on television, and the Honorable Robert S. Reeves will be requesting again for another temporary restraining order, which will keep the mayor from resuming the duties for which the people voted her into office to do. So in conclusion, the question must be asked: where is the money? Are we barking up the right tree, or is there something much deeper that has yet to be disclosed? And we can only imagine why some people in the state of Georgia just refuse to accept the vote and the tally of the ballot box. Well, be that as it may, I personally believe that in the end, truth, right, and justice will win in the end. And so this is the Ghetto Free Press. I do this because I believe you have a right to know. This is George Boston Rhymes on behalf of the people. There is no hidden agenda. All we want is what is right under our form of government. And one last statement. I understand that the mayor lives on private property. She's not in a public housing project, and she has a no trespass sign entering her home. And yet, I am told that she's being harassed by a local news media network which comes on to her property without her permission. All she would have All they would have to do, I just been informed, was to call her. And according to her, she would tell them, no, I do not want an interview, as she had said so many times before, because the news media are one-sided in its entirety, and her story will not be told as she gives it to the local media. Now, I believe she has a right. I believe I have a right. I think that everyone have a right to be respected. And once again, she said that she has a no trespass to the interest of her property. And she said that she just wished that these reporters would respect what she has posted for her family, her husband, under our form of government. This is the Ghetto Free Press, reporting what others often ignore.